Kentucky the first time. So you were already a teenager before Auburn won their first game
Actually, I was only 12.
Okay, well, excuse me.
It was a week before my birthday.
Y'all see what I have to deal with. All right. And then, but after that, look how many times Auburn's won since then. Like you've known Auburn beating Kentucky.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm just reinforcing is that it took 12 years and 51 weeks before you saw Kentucky lose to Auburn, and then you saw more wins after that than losses for Auburn. It's just a totally different mindset. And, I like going back and digging into the history. And I just remember growing up that, when it was the Auburn-Kentucky game, you just chalked it up as an L. It was because Auburn didn't take basketball serious, and it was a flash in a pan. It had to be something spectacular for Auburn to beat Kentucky. Kentucky was the benchmark of the SEC, and they still are to a certain degree, but Alabama, Florida, Tennessee, and Auburn have all been as good or better than Kentucky over the last, let's just give it 10 years. Let's go 26, back to 2016. Those teams have been as good or better than this Kentucky. Kentucky has dominated this conference for so long that it has just been Kentucky and everybody else when you look at tournament records and you look at appearances and all the stuff. But that's not the case anymore. At Florida, they've won multiple national championships now. Auburn has been to 2 Final Fours. Alabama has now been to a Final Four. I mean, Tennessee has been the model of consistency in this league. So it's not just Kentucky anymore.
Yeah. Just a crazy game overall yesterday, or I don't know, 2 days ago, whenever people see this. Crazy game. Still can't get over it. I mean, I don't know. I'm trying my best over here to remember what day this is, and forgive me.
You've been on cruise control today. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah,
but you can tell me exactly how old you were when Kentucky. I mean,
yeah, January 14th.
There you go.
2013.
I wasn't going to dive all into those details, but I think everybody got the point. Let's talk about the game, though. Auburn led most of the first half, and then in typical fashion, they blew a lead at the end of the first half, and Kentucky had the momentum. And then Kentucky came out and went on a 7-0 run, and you started going, well, here it is. Here's where things kind of fall apart. But this team, just like it did against Mississippi State, fought back. And they fought back, took the lead, gave the lead up again, and then found a way to finish it this time and win the game, not the way the Mississippi State game ended. So that's, again, this was a team that played like their back was against the wall, and it was against the wall, because when you look at this record now, Auburn, when we started talking about these 6 games coming down the stretch, Faith, now they've split the first 2. So there's 4 left. You got Oklahoma, Ole Miss, LSU, and Alabama left. You and I went through this on the post game. Oklahoma, Ole Miss, and LSU are at the bottom of this conference below Auburn. They're the 3 worst teams left. Could you ask for a better draw? Seriously.
No, I mean, this is going to be where Auburn can really get it together and actually pull themselves out of this hole that they've been in the last couple of games. And then, you have this big win. You should be on a high right now heading into this road game in Oklahoma that, this might be the toughest one out of the next 3 coming up. So go ahead and take care of business in Oklahoma and then come back to Neville Arena and, use Neville Arena to your advantage like you did last night. against Kentucky, but you won't have them out in Oklahoma. So that's why I think this Oklahoma game is going to be the most difficult for them.
Don't lose what you just gained by going out to Oklahoma and laying an egg, because, as fast as the Mississippi State game sorrow went away with a win against Kentucky, the sorrow can return, and the same situation you can be right back in if you were to drop a game against an Oklahoma or an Ole Miss or an LSU. Those would be bad losses. There's no other way to spin it. Any of the three. Now, a little bit lesser for Oklahoma, but if you were to lose to LSU or Ole Miss in Neville Arena, would be massively devastating. I mean, almost.
That would be the biggest nightmare that would ever come out of Neville Arena. Like, I cannot
it would
imagine.
be one of the worst. It would be one of the worst losses in Neville Arena in quite some time if you were to lose to one of those teams. That's how bad those two teams are. But again, if you don't show up, I mean, if you don't have a Philip Jovic have a career night against South Carolina, they would have won. So anything is possible in this league. Anything is possible. All right, let's talk about some of our partners here on the program before we dive into some other things here this morning. And we always start with
Sensagreen, for air that's cool and clean, call on Sensagreen. They are the carrier experts in the state of Alabama. It's back to a whopping 30 degrees outside. I want to just stay inside all day, so I have, because it's way too cold. So going back and forth between the heat and the air conditioning is just going to kill your unit. And you know what's not going to die? Your carrier unit. And you want to save money, so you're going to call Sensagreen to install that carrier unit, because soon enough, it is going to be 90 degrees and 100% humidity. So you're going to feel like you're suffocating and dying. So you're going to want to go inside to your nice, cool house. And that's going to be operated by a carrier unit. And Sensagreen's going to save you the most money because you want to save money. This is expensive stuff and you want the best people doing it. And so you're going to stick with Sensagreen.
By the way, I just got to say, the wind was terrible yesterday. Horrible. Like that
I
crowd.
haven't really gone outside today.
Well, you wouldn't know, but I did, and it's terrible. So just letting everybody know it sucks. It should get on out of here. All right, Scout Program Management, a full construction management firm. They are located in Birmingham, Alabama, but they serve the Southeast. And what is a program management company? They head up your project. So you got a major project, you hire them to run it for you. That's how important that is. That you have somebody when you're dealing with millions of dollars, you got to know what you're doing. You don't, your staff don't. So you got to hire somebody that does. Check them out, scoutpm.com online. They are the best in the business.
Bunkers in downtown Auburn. I can tell you where I wanted to go on Thursday night after seeing all those videos. And that was Bunkers, because every Thursday is line dancing day at Bunkers. And oh my gosh, I want to go join in on the fun. But Saturday after the game, Bunkers was packed out the wazoo. It was so awesome. I was so glad to see how busy it was, because Bunkers is so much fun. And I know that if you enjoy listening to live music, enjoy line dancing, all the things, they've got beer dye tournaments, pong tournaments, all the fun things. You want to go to Bunkers in downtown Auburn.
When you and I drove by Bunkers Saturday night, I couldn't believe it.
It was awesome.
And saw the videos online of people watching the game in Bunkers. That place, it's not a hidden gem anymore. I'll just put it that way. It is a massive, massive crowd almost every night that they're open. So, and the Kart Source, Alabama's premier golf cart superstore, man, we had a blast the other day. Harrison was awesome. Again, he has sold so many daggum golf carts in the last week. I'm sure it had all to do with us showing up and doing our show there, because all of a sudden he starts posting all. I'm just kidding. But hopefully we did have him tell us that a few people have come in and said that Auburn Blitz sent them there. So that's awesome. That's what we want you to keep doing. If you're in the market for a golf cart, Easy Go Cushman Yamaha Club car, you can just ask Faith all the different features of all of them because she tried all of them out.
I
And
had
she
so
knows
much fun.
she could really be like a golf cart salesperson now. She knows all the different features of all of them. So if you're in the market, either call Faith or Harrison, and they'll
I'm
make
like a
sure.
golf cart pro. I'm not a golf pro. I'm a golf cart pro.
Hey, you know what?
I'll take that any day over going and playing golf.
I need to pull some video of past swings.
It's not fair because I don't have a working arm.
I thought your swing was fine. Like the video that I got was fine. You were like, ooh, I'm like, that's actually not a bad shot. So I wasn't doing it to be
Well, you
mean.
should have seen it.
I wasn't doing it to be mean. I was trying to just
You
say
should have seen it before this.
Oh, it was a lot better.
I got told in my golf class I had one of the best swings. I don't like to be bad at things.
Well, okay. Well, there you go. So
I'll tell you right now.
Okay. Well, so much for me wanting to build your head up even more. So I'll just refrain from talking about your swing anymore. And we'll shift gears and talk about Auburn adding a former Alabama assistant coach to their staff. This kind of came out of the blue. And I'll just be honest, I'm not trying to be critical. Chris Kaplovic, the fired offensive line coach, what was one of the worst positions for Alabama this year? Their offensive line, like, again, I know it's not completely on him, but their line was terrible as far as when it comes to, they were one of the worst running teams. Now he's being hired as an analyst, and he's going to be, helping Houdanik, with what he's doing, and it's obviously Houdanik's first year as Auburn's offensive line coach. Look, I don't want people to misconstrue what I'm saying, and I'm not here to bash, but it's like when I saw that, I was like, okay, all right, okay. And that's kind of the way I did it. So, again, as an analyst, he's going to have a role and going to be helping. He's not going to be coaching the offensive line. Not to say he was any worse than the one we had prior. So it was probably a race to see which one was okay. I'll leave that alone. So, but anyway, just some info on him. Has been at Alabama the last 2 seasons. Hey, look, they've had good seasons. Alabama has made the playoff. Made it last year, didn't make it the year before. But he's been at Michigan State, Colorado, North Carolina, Southern Miss. He was also Alabama State's offensive coordinator back in 03 and 05, 03 to 05. So that's just a little history on him. Not going to spend a lot of time on that. Just thought that was a little bit interesting.
Well, Derek Nix went to Alabama. So, I mean, I guess people are just, it doesn't matter if it once was your rival.
None of that matters anymore.
Wherever you can get a job, I guess. I don't know.
That's really, it's like, who's going to give me, like, everybody's got their favorite colors that they pull for, but everybody pulls for green. The color.
Yeah. Everyone's falling for that dollar that you can get somewhere.
Everybody's trying to figure out how to make sure their paycheck comes in. But, is that – I'll just ask this for you. Is this a big deal, a little deal, or no deal at all? Like this announcement.
I don't care as long as the offensive line doesn't look the way it did last year. And if he's just going to be obviously not the coach, but the analyst and going to be helping out Coach Houdanik, that's fine. But as long as it looks sky miles, light years ahead of what last year's looked like,
we'll take it.
Anything is better than last year. So thanks.
Yes, absolutely.
That's my only take on it.
That's a pretty good take. I'm good with that. All right, Auburn baseball. So you start off last weekend, you sweep Youngstown State, but you were a little concerned about the bats. 2-1 wins, and then a 17-2 victory. Or was it 17-2 or 17-1? 17-2. 17-2. So you gave up 4 runs. So the pitching was there. You felt good about it. Bats only got going in 1 game, and then you play Cincinnati on Tuesday and get shut out 8-0. You're like, oh gosh. you're like, something really is going on. And pitching was still fine in that game through about 6 innings. It was 3-0 Cincinnati, and you were like, okay, it's no big deal. But then they added some more, and Auburn just couldn't get anything going. So you knew what was coming this weekend, going to Arlington, taking on Kansas State, Florida State, and Louisville. Louisville ranked, Florida State ranked, Kansas State, really good baseball team program. So you better pick it up, and they did. The Bats traveled to Arlington, a 5-1 win over Kansas State. But then on Saturday, Faith, was a very impressive win.
Yeah, I mean, the way that this team has actually been able to dig itself out of some of the maybe low points that they had earlier is unbelievable. And again, I mean, we've talked about how the pitching in the past has just been really shallow and low, and then obviously we were concerned about the offense, and they were able to really just come out of that.
Absolutely. Florida State, the toughest competition for them out in Arlington. They went 8-5. Auburn got in a 4-0 hole in that game and came back. That was a massive win. Again, 8-5. And then yesterday morning, took on Louisville, and really, really good performance again, winning that game 10-6. Bingaman hit one to the moon.
Mhm.
What a massive shot there. But overall, you can go down through here. Bristol Carter against Florida State was player of the game.
Yeah.
You interviewed him just a couple of weeks ago, and it was good to see him, and what a great weekend he had. If you're looking for highlights from pitching, Marciano picked up where he left off, starting against Kansas State, just really, really dominating on the mound. This kid, this was a massive pickup in the transfer portal. Everybody knew there was a really good chance he could be the first starter out of the gate in the weekend. Another solid performance, 6 innings, 2 hits, 8 strikeouts. He had 12 strikeouts against Youngstown State. So now he's got 20 strikeouts in 2 appearances. Faith, just a tremendous, tremendous start to his career at Auburn. But, everybody else too, Drew Whalen, Garrett Brewer, just really shutting Kansas State down in that first game. But it starts with Jake Marciano. Hey, this guy, that was a massive pickup by Butch Thompson out of the transfer portal.
Yeah, I know that you and Jason really talked about it last week, and you and I have talked about it some, but Butch Thompson being one of the vet coaches at Auburn and sticking around for some time and having a lot of these guys stick around. I mean, he went hard in the transfer portal last year and got some of those guys that have been huge pickups, but just have been big impact players this early in the season. And it makes you excited to see, how much more we can expect out of them and how clutch they've come in.
Absolutely. Just a few more notes from the Florida State game as we move into the Saturday game. You get down 4-0. Bristol Carter, though, again, what a great performance. He was 3 for 3. He scored 2 runs. He drove in another. Eric Guevara was 2 of 4. He had an RBI, and he scored a run. Chase Fralick drove in 3 runs, had 3 RBIs, had a big home run there. But up and down the lineup, Auburn contributing, and then pitching wise, not the best start there on the mound for Jackson Sanders. He went 5 innings, though. He settled down. He gave up 4 runs, but they all came in the first inning. So once he got kind of settled in, he was able to give Auburn 5 solid innings. and then hand the ball over to Jet Johnson. He only gives up 1 run, and then Ryan Hetzler comes in and closes the game out, and Auburn wins 8-5. So getting in a big hole where Auburn struggled hitting the ball so far this season, Faith, they were able to rally back and then take the lead and then win that game, and then again. The Louisville game, Auburn 10-6. So it's just good to see the bats. That's what we were wondering about. Would Auburn? We felt like the pitching would do well, and it did. The pitching did really, really well this past weekend. But the good thing is, it looks like the bats finally woke up.
Yeah, Coach Thompson said that I know my job is to win ball games, but to build a team and to keep building these guys to become good baseball players and a good baseball team, you have to finish strong. That's a hard taste to get out of my mouth. It's unacceptable because he was talking, about Chatterton a little bit, but he's like, I want them to enjoy wins, but we have to get better in some areas. Again, I mean, Coach Thompson, I respect him so much as a coach. I think you're muted.
I am muted. Yeah, he is he's just a tremendous person, and he's who you want your son to play for, as not just a good coach, but somebody that's going to teach, how to be a good person, and that's what he expects from his players. And the good thing is, and knock on wood, and I know kids are going to be kids, and people are going to do stuff from time to time, but do you ever hear any negative come out of the baseball program? Ever?
Never.
Nothing. Like that is a reflection on leadership and expectations. And, that's just great. And so, again, kudos to Auburn for going out and getting the win. They get improved to 6-1 on the season. So, you know what? Things kind of balance out. Pitching has been great to this point. Hopefully it can continue to do that. And, Auburn's doing all this without Chris Rembert in the lineup,
Yeah. And that's something too that I know that we were talking about how he was missed in that Cincinnati game, but,
yeah.
Seeing what they were able to go and do out there in Arlington tells you that obviously they still have some work to do, but it's still obviously they've got a winnable team or a team that's winnable without him.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. So so you come back from that trip, and then you are back home against West Georgia on Wednesday, and then back at home again. Nebraska, you welcome Nebraska in for a 3-game set this coming up weekend. So there you go. So that's the next few games for Auburn baseball, and again, hopefully the weather will continue to improve and
not be negative degrees anymore.
It's not fun playing that game when it's just brutal cold. There's nothing fun about it. All right, let's talk about some more of our partners here on the program. Oliver Ross for a party of 20 or 20,000. I don't know that anybody's having a party with 20,000, but a convention, anything like that, they can handle that many. They have licensed, trained professional bartenders. They handle everything. They bring in, you order what you want, they bring it in, they set it up, serve, break it down, take it away, and you don't have to do anything other than just pay them to come and do what you need them to do. So Oliver Ross, check them out on Instagram, check them out on Facebook, all the great places. Everything that they do is top notch.
Russell Medical Center in in Alex City. I just almost said in Dadeville.
We got the good partners in Dadeville.
In Alexander City, if you want to beat the traffic and not have to go all the way up to Birmingham or all the way to Atlanta, which I can promise you don't want to, you need to go to Russell Medical Center in Alexander City. It's right up Highway 280. It's 30 minutes from Auburn. Nothing crazy at all. And it's honestly one of the best places to go. I've gone there. I've had such a great experience there. I know if anything comes up for me, I'm going to return back. And that says a lot because coming from Atlanta, know a lot of really great doctors, and Russell Medical Center has some of the best in the state. And if there is something that's, not treatable there, they are partnered with UAB and they'll send you up there.
By the way, Jackie Pearl heading up the Outlive game again. Stephen gave props to her in the press conference, post game press conference, and you had Jackie with you a couple weeks ago when we were at Russell Med, kind of talking about. She's just a great person, really, really passionate about that and what that does, and the free screenings for prostate cancer in the Neville Arena.
That was so cool.
That was cool, and so yeah, just a lot of really, really good things there. So go ahead and check out Russell Medical Center, and again for the best. Alex City Marine, boat sales, service, storage, and rentals. But why do you want to rent something when you can own it? Center consoles, pontoon boats, bass boats, whatever it is that you're looking for, located right there on Highway 280. All boats powered by Suzuki, Honda, or Mercury, the best in the business. Check them out. Call them if you need to, 256-215-3474. And, man, spring will be coming up very soon, and you'll be wishing you had one of those boats. We've got another business day out on the lake coming up soon when the weather turns.
If it can get warm enough.
Oh, it's coming. So not right now for sure. All right, let's flip over real quick before we get off. Softball, really good trip to California. They go 4-2. Now, there's one they'll want to scrap. They'll want to forget that UCLA game. When I saw that come across, I texted you and I went, "Is this real?"
Yeah, not very good.
I don't know what went on in the third inning to give up 18 runs, but you could not get out of that inning.
Yeah, that was crazy. But they again were able to respond back after that game, because not sure how you go out there and lose 23-1. But then they had BYU the next day, late in the day.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say none of our girls have ever been beaten in a softball game 23-1. Now, I may be wrong. I mean, I'm sure they've been on everybody. If you compete long enough, you're going to be in some kind of game.
I know one girl that has never lost 23-1, and this was her first time because she ain't used to losing.
No, she ain't used to. First of all, she ain't used to losing, and she dang sure ain't used to losing by the score 23-1. So I think that's one of those you go, okay, we kind of check that box. Let's not ever do that again. But you just said it. I mean, you come right back the next day and
against BYU, you win 10-1. Again, a great response. And then on Saturday, you play Washington and you lose in a normal fashion of 5-2. Okay, so that one again, if you're going to scrap one, you're going to scrap the UCLA game and go ahead and just take the L on that Washington game.
But a highly ranked Washington team that you played. You played 3 ranked teams.
Yeah.
You played Oregon. You upset Oregon. I think they were 18. Auburn wins that game 10-5, and then you lose that game. I think UCLA is number 9 in the country. And so, yeah, that's the highest ranked team you played. Now, you had one inning that was a disaster. So you really had one disastrous inning, if you want to break it down that way. Faith, the game was bad, but you had one disastrous inning. You take that inning away. And that's a normal, and I know that's part of it. I'm just saying it's just really one inning. You lose 5-2 to Washington, then you come back and you close out with 2 wins.
Yeah, and for that Cal game, I mean, you win 19-5. So what you kind of wish you could have responded maybe
against
to UCLA in that fashion. Maybe. But if you respond to Cal in that way, it's you're at least making some sort of statement, right?
Yeah, you go out and play 6 games against 6 really good teams, and you get 4 wins. Hey, you lose a close one to Washington, who's highly ranked, and then you have that outlier game against UCLA. Hopefully you won't see any more like that. Very good start to the season for the Auburn softball program. You can say what you want, but they're 13-4, and they've played some tough competition now. We'll see how they continue on. And again, we've kind of gone through the SEC schedule and who they'll be playing, and we'll continue to cover them as we move forward. But hey, look, all in all, good weekend for Auburn athletics. We needed it, man.
I
It's
was
been
gonna
a while.
say that was gonna be one of the first things I said this podcast, but I kind of forgot, is that Auburn athletics needed this
They did.
win.
And I know
And
the Alabama gymnastics meet, Auburn didn't win,
yeah.
but they again set more records on
Hey,
scoring.
I said that they were gonna need to have a good bar night, and they did. They had their season high on bars, and
Just wasn't enough
huh?
overall. I say, yeah, that was great. Just wasn't enough overall
Okay,
in the
yeah,
meet.
but we're talking about the positives here, so I'm just gonna give them kudos there because they have been struggling
I
on
was not
bar.
arguing with you. I was just saying, yes, they did have a record-setting night on bars, but it just overall wasn't good enough to get over the
Right,
hump. They still scored high as a team. So,
right. Just
do I have permission to say anything else now?
yeah, go ahead.
I'd not say I'm done. I'm out. So it's all good. But Auburn did have a really good weekend, and hopefully they can carry that over. Hopefully we'll see Tuesday night basketball ride some momentum and see what happens there and get a win on the road against Oklahoma and close out this regular season in strong suit, and then hopefully by tournament time feel really good about having a spot lockdown in the NCAA tournament. So
Yeah,
that's
we'll
what you hope
see.
for. All right. All right. You got anything else?
Thank you to Glenda Mitchell. Was excited to see them there on Saturday at the Outlive game. I know they enjoyed their time.
They did. And their advertisement on the jumbo screen.
Always so great to see that.
Yeah, it is. And it's also great to
And
see it at
Cincy Green.
the bottom of our podcast down here because we appreciate her so very much. So, all right. I hope everybody goes out and does something good today. Get your week started in a positive light. Be good to people. And I'll let you send us out, Faith.
Stay warm and have the best day and week ever.
This will be the coldest day of the week. So, yeah, just bundle up and then the temperatures will gradually get better. So just prep yourself. But, yes, I will echo what Faith said. Everybody have a great week, and we will see you tomorrow for more